You're welcome to the Pulse. This is your election headquarters. Now, in some few hours, the Enough is Enough demonstration called by the Opposition National Democratic Congress will kick off across the country. The demonstration is aimed at forcing the Electoral Commission to submit the voters' register to an audit after the NDC said it had discovered widespread discrepancies in the roll. The AC has rejected the claims and insisted the register is robust. With just hours to go, the National Peace Council has revealed it is working behind the scenes to get the NDC to put the demonstration on hold. George Amwa is Executive Secretary of the National Peace Council.
He has to meet with the IGP and others regarding the current situation we have. We all know NDC wants to go on demonstration tomorrow. We want to see how we can manage that. The council has had several meetings with the Electoral Commission to discuss various issues of concern and sought clarifications on matters that the public had brought to the attention of the Peace Council. The Peace Council has had dialogues with women wings, party communicators, and youth wings of all the political parties in our country. The Peace Council has provided training in alternative dispute resolution for all the political parties to help them resolve their internal matters. The MPC has had a dialogue with the Council of Elders of all the political parties in the country to evaluate the events in the political space to determine what we could do together to minimize the tension and possible violence in accordance with Section 3E of the National Peace Council Act 818. In terms of managing political tensions and violence, the Peace Council since 2023 has created a political party trust-building platform to promote dialogue and consensus building among the political parties and institutions of our country. The Peace Council has set up the Political Party Code of Conduct Committee to monitor the activities of the parties. This setup is to free the council so it could give attention to the about 703 cases currently pending in all our offices across the country.
Well, the leadership of the NDC have said it is going ahead with the protest, with its regional branches announcing readiness. Now, in the studio is Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer, Deputy Director of IT with the NDC. Before that, though, listen to the Electoral Commission as they make the point that there is actually no reason for this demonstration to take place. We'll bring that to you shortly. But let me welcome Dr. Computer to the studio. Doctor, you're welcome.
Thank you.
So a lot of reference has been made to the comments the NDC made in 2016. Comments that sought to create the impression that the electoral roll was the best. And almost 8 years down the line, you have issued with the same electoral roll you praised in 2016. What really has changed?
Very well. Let me say good evening to your cherished viewers. A lot of things have changed. If you look at the Electoral Commission as of 2016, when issues of this nature came up, I mean, you remember the episode of the 80,000 Togolese being bandied around by then running mate of Nanado, Dr. Bawumia, did a lot of press conferences all over the country, showing pie charts and bar charts of all this data, followed up by Samuel, who now the Director General of NLE, who was then the youth organizer, held a press conference and said a lot of things about the register, ghost names, people names being taken out and all that. What the Electoral Commission at that time did was that they formed a 5-man committee headed by Justice Crabb to deal with the issue. And they held public fora and allowed the political parties to make presentations. So we didn't just rubbish it. We rather went and made presentation to let the whole world know that the 80,000 they are talking about doesn't exist. And they are Ghanaians. Just because they have names that looks like Togolese names and all that. Don't forget, Aflao and Ghana, Share-Border, they are virtually the same people. So we made presentations. That was an audit because they had to investigate to be sure that we don't have these 80,000 in there.
Is it the same audit you're asking for?
That is why we are saying that.
Set up a committee, invite the political parties to bring their...
That is it. You see, that is where sometimes we have difficulties with this current Electoral Commission because it appears they have something to hide. What is your fear? When they were saying those things in 2016, we made presentations, the MPP made presentations, the committee arrived at a point, came out with their report, we went into the election, the MPP won the election. We accepted it. That is why we are saying that now the magnitude of the problem is more than what happened in 2016. So serious, this one borders on criminal conduct. Somebody sat somewhere in the Electoral Commission head office and start manipulating the data.
They say only one constituency.
Not one.
Usiga.
Do you know what? That's why we are saying they refuse. They didn't want the media to come in there. As we speak now, we are uncovering even more. West one from Tolong constituency. Tolong. I can give you the data very well. Tolong people, they have transferred to the same Pusiga without their knowledge.
Is the EC aware of this? Have you presented this latest claim of illegality to the EC?
Yes, we told them. We told them at the meeting that the time we were meeting them and discussing all this, we were doing ongoing further investigation into the matter. And so when they told us that they have done corrections and corrected all these verses, and we asked them, give us a corrected verse that you have. Because they were singing from a hymn book that we don't know. When we talked about a gentleman whose name was transferred from one polling station in Accra to Tesano police station, ostensibly to put his name in special voters list, and in reversing it back, they inadvertently removed his name from the register because his name could not be traced in the provisional register that they exhibited and the one they gave to us. Their IT consultant who was seated there quickly pointed some things and said, oh, the gentleman is in the register. And we said, look, when the gods want to kill you, they first make you mad. So we asked him, which constituency is that gentleman and which polling station? He mentioned Ketu North, Volta region. We said, oh, you are. We told you. Everybody was shocked in the hall. I wish the media, you were there to capture this. From Accra, Tesano police station, back all the way now is in Volta region.
And did the EC explain how this
And that's
happened?
why we are saying that. So we told them that it appears you have on the register which is different from the one you exhibited and the one you gave to us. So we are dealing with 3 registers now because your register is showing that that man is there. So it means the register we are holding and we have done the audit in ourselves looks different from what you are reading from. Then give us that one. You say that's the corrected one.
So
why did they give it?
So, Dr. Computer, your fear is that if this is not corrected, it may not augur well for the NDC in the elections?
My brother, you see this book?
Yes.
Have you seen it?
How to rig an election.
How to rig an election. This is what the Electoral Commission is playing to Ghanaians. This book is the hymn book they are singing from. And I'm telling you that we are not going to allow this. When Chessman wrote this book, he knew of how dictators rig elections. They rig election before you go to the election day. And he said it very clear that, look, such tactics include manipulating the electoral register. Listen, manipulate the electoral register. These tactics have in common is that they can be deployed months in advance of an election when observers are likely to be seen on the ground, and they can be presented as technical or legal decisions as opposed to political skullduggery. But this is what they are doing.
But you have followed elections for some time. Has there ever been the occasion where the Electoral Commission has rigged the election on behalf of another party since 19? Has it ever happened?
I am saying that the Electoral Commission that we know of 92 up to 26 is not the Electoral Commission we have now. It's just the name you are referring to.
So for the first time, they can rig the elections?
I am saying that if you have an Electoral Commission that is made up of MPP apparatchiks, what do you expect? Do you think they want their government to lose? These are MPP communicators, directors of elections in different regions who have been assembled as commissioners. Do you expect that? Do you want Apia here to sit down and preside for election?
Dr. Fayan says the election is won at the polling center.
And I'm saying that before we get to the polling station, the register has already been bloated. So what am I going to do at the polling station? You have bloated the register that I'm going to use for the polling station.
By how much? By how much?
243,000 names of old data of 2023 has been added to the current register. And they accepted it.
And it is your estimation that these 240,000 are all MPP functionaries who vote for the MPP in the elections?
That is why I'm saying that. Of what use will you add that as an electoral commissioner? On what basis? Look, in election, there's no error. Errors are deliberate attempt to rig elections. Now, when you catch the one who is perpetuating that error, he will tell you it's an error. If you don't catch the person, it passes. And they will use it to declare the elections. That's why Chessman said here, when they do that, this time they are doing all this. Observers are not in the country. Have you seen any international observers here? They are not yet.
Perhaps not yet.
Good. So they want to dirty the register before they arrive. If you don't talk, they will use that dirty register to conduct election. And by conducting that election, it will legitimize their illegality.
The EC says that dialogue must continue. Demonstration will not achieve anything.
We have started the dialogue with them. We wrote to them. They didn't invite us. We wrote. You see, we are lovers of the democracy. We want our democracy in Ghana to strive. So what we did is that when we saw the problems in the register, we wrote to them demanding for a meeting with you so that we come and present to you, demonstrate to you what we have seen in the provisional. We called it observations. We were charitable to them. We didn't even say anomalies. We described them as what? Observations in the register. When we wrote the letter to them, quickly, Bossman came out of a press conference on Wednesday. Our meeting was scheduled for Friday. He quickly held a press conference. Do you know what he said in the press conference? He clearly admitted to some of the issues that we started teasing out. That yes, it was an error that they added this old data into the new data. They've just realized it, and they will reverse all that. Yes, it was also that the transfers were illegal, the illegal transfers of Tamale South and Sandargo to Pusiga. Yes, they realized that there was no lively check. Somebody in their within themselves did those things. They are still investigating and all. So virtually, he admitted to some of the ills that they have perpetrated on the register before even our meeting. So in our meeting, we took time to walk them through the observation we have seen, 5 thematic areas, and took time to explain it to them. They were all seated. The commissioners were there with their IT officer. Had it not been Madam Jean Mensah, the IT officer would have messed the whole commission up that day. So when we did this, and they said they had corrected it, we then demanded that. Then give us a corrected version. We will go and compare.
The certified voters.
The certified one, they say they have corrected it. All these things you are talking of, we have done some corrections. And we have the corrected. So we handed over a hard drive. You know, we're well prepared. So we're going with empty hard drives because we know these people. We know their lifestyle. So we're prepared. You can ask them and they say, bring your hard drive. If you don't have it, they'll say, you have asked them for hard drive, they have not given. So we handed it to them. They collected and gave a text Thursday. By that time, they would have loaded it for it. Up till now, they haven't loaded it.
As we speak.
As we speak now, they have not given us a corrected version. For us to check, if they had given us a corrected version, we would have compared that one to the discrepancies that we have seen to see whether they have resolved it. And the second leg would have been, let's re-exhibit. Because we're calling for forensic audit. After that, re-exhibit, because you have messed up Ghanaians' data. These people will not listen.
So tomorrow you want to demonstrate and to make what point?
Well, it's our constitutional right to demonstrate. We are sending a petition to the Speaker of Parliament, and we are sending a petition to Madam Jean Mensah herself. We want them to know that this country democracy rests in the head of Madam Jean Mensah. The future of Ghana rests on her shoulder. And she must act decisively because her other commissioners acted decisively. That is why we are having democracy that we are enjoying now. Afarjan acted decisively. Afarjan, the UNDP, in 2012, wrote to them to assist them to do an audit when they had a biometric register. NPP were pushing them. Afarjan acceded to it. Madam Charlotte Osei acceded to NPP request when they were banding this, their 80,000 and then Samia Awuku press conferences around. Madam Charlotte Osei acceded to it and formed a committee to investigate and come out with a report. You cannot be a different commission that thinks that everything of you should be opaque.
So tomorrow will just be a demonstration and presentation of a petition to the EC and the Speaker of Parliament.
Yes.
And after?
After we have other plans. If they don't listen to it, if they don't listen to the Wise Council, we have other plans.
You escalate the demonstration?
I'm saying we have other plans under our sleeves. There are several ways of...
Is someone suggesting that you are preparing the grounds to blame, in the event that you are defeated in the election, you blame it on the fact that the EC played a ball in favor of the MPP? Is that the grounds you are preparing?
Elton, you see, we are not talking about winning. We are talking of the magnitude of win. It's right. What we are protecting now. For winning, John Mahama has won the election. It's the magnitude. We want to beat these people and beat them hands down so that they don't make noise again. What they are doing now is trying to narrow the win. So that when we beat them, they will say, oh, even after all this thing, you've just beaten them with small. That's what they are looking for. It's not about winning or losing. The NDC is not losing this year's election. Mark it. As we speak now, we are hovering around 54%. We want to see if we can move it to 56%. With all this nonsense going on in the country, which right-thinking human being will vote for MPP again? All right. I just heard you talking about Galamsey. Look at how they've destroyed the environment, the whole country. They continue destroying it. 3 months, they can even go and bring NASA people or FBI from America. They can't stop it. The only way to stop it is to get these people and vote them out. Let them send their troubles out. So Ghana, we can reset Ghana and bring it back. So we are ready
Thank you so much.
For the demonstration.
We'll follow up the demonstration tomorrow. The NDC describes it that enough is enough demonstration. But before we go, it's exactly a year since the Akosombo Dam spillage, which devastated several communities. Let's take a quick tour to the communities and find out how the people are coping a year on. Joining us from the Northton District are, Kofi Jupiter Aziato, Assembly Member, Dafo Adidomi electoral area. Kofi, you're welcome to the post.
It is to join news and their viewers.
Right, so a year on, how is life like? Is everything returned to normal?
A year on, it is very miserable in the Dafo Adidomi electoral area. It is very unfortunate, scary, and very rough for the people of Dofotonu, Asimakope, Wukwe, Jadanko, who were involved in the flood during last year. Because their buildings were collapsed, they have nowhere to sleep, they don't have homes, they are just malingering around, they don't have hope. Their farms were being destroyed by the Akosombo dams, they lost their livelihoods. They use their farm produce to cater for their kids in schools, but as it stands now, their children are being dropped out from school because they don't have any other means to cater for their kids in school. My brother, after the Akosombo flood, people have developed skin infections because the water was contaminated. So the people of Tonu in the North Tonu developed some other skin infections. Very scary one, of course. And they lost their livelihoods as a result of the flood. Moreover, the people have high blood pressure. I can tell you in authority that 2 people lost their lives after the flood in Tonu.
Okay.
Because their buildings were destroyed, their farm produce were destroyed. They have nowhere to go. They have no home to stay. They have no food to eat. So as a result, they started thinking they don't know what to do again. So they developed high blood pressure and lost their lives in the Fotonu.
But Kofi, as we speak, do we still have people living in tents and putting up with families?
We still have people living in tents in the Fotonu because formerly they were using their classrooms. But school resumes, they have to go back to their villages. And in their villages, their buildings were destroyed. They don't have anywhere to go. So they have to erect a tent of themselves so that they will use as shelter for the meantime. It is very unfortunate, my brother, that when government initiates this fertilizer and seedlings, government has refused to serve the people of Tonu. They have started sharing the fertilizers and seedlings, but my people has never got a pin out of the fertilizer that they are sharing. Meanwhile, their farmers, their farm produce were destroyed. They don't have hope. Their only hope is God.
So a year on, what would you say are the immediate needs of the people that must be addressed?
The immediate needs of the people is where to sleep, accommodation. They need accommodation because their buildings were destroyed by the Akosombo Dam. It is not their fault. The water came unexpectedly. So it is not their fault to be in their homes and Akosombo water will take them unexpectedly. So they need hope. Government has to come to their aid and then put up a structure for them to move in.
All right, let's leave it here. We'll follow it up, but we've got a special report that will be bringing it to you in subsequent bulletin. Well, folks, that's our show for today.